Hey everybody, it's Mike Davis here, coming on Dirty Mo Overdrive. This channel is going to be something that we do all year, where a lot of us on the Dirty Mo side will just chime in with some thoughts, opinions, perspectives, and reactions to a lot of things we saw. And I have one, and I wanted to get on here and talk about it a little bit because it has to do with that O'Reilly Auto Parts race from Daytona, which was yesterday. I'm watching here. I'm waiting for the Daytona 500 to start, and I'm still thinking about that O'Reilly Auto Parts race yesterday. That's going to take a little while. You're talking to the guy that still calls it the Busch Series, and I know there's some of you that do the same thing. So I'm going to get better, but I'm going to have a couple slip-ups. So I just had my first one there. So listen, about that race yesterday. First of all, Austin Hill wore us out. All right. You got to call it what it is. The dude wore us out. And while I was hoping that one of those old JRM boys would have got up there at the last lap, I thought Allgaier might have been in position to get a run if all the things would have worked out right. But yeah, man, Austin Hill's tough. Say what you will about him. So congrats to him and to all that RCR bunch. I love that Richard Childress bunch. So anyways, I tweeted about the Natalie Decker incident. I did. I was watching the race and I was like, should I do this or should I not? Now, let's just be very clear. There was a big accident and she was not in it originally, but Sam Mayer was in it, and he was, with 4 flat tires and a hood just flapping all over his windshield. He couldn't see anything. He had no control. He comes up the racetrack, and then Natalie unfortunately goes right into him and wrecks them both. Finished his car off if it wasn't already, and then also obviously took herself out of the race. And CW played her audio in it, and she said in there, I'm going to paraphrase here, something like, what was that car? What was he doing going up the track? I'm so mad about it. And she said that it hurt. That was a hard hit. It was a hard hit. And I have no doubt that she was hurt. And I hated to hear that. But the part that she said where, what was he doing coming up the track? I'm so mad at him. That's the one I took exception to. And I want to say this for the record. When drivers say something on their radio channel, they got full license, full right to be irrational and to not have all the proper context. I have always said that. Listen, in the heat of the moment, especially during a wreck, but in the heat of the moment, you're in that car, you're hot, it's cramped. I mean, it's just like, nothing suggests having proper context ever, right? Nothing. And so I always give them the benefit of the doubt. You take everything with a grain of salt. You try not to hold them accountable to every word. And yet here I was tweeting something that she said and then responding to it. Why would I do that if I felt so strongly about letting drivers be able to air out whatever's in their mind on the radio? Well, it's because I thought that was a dangerous situation that could have been avoided. And when she said, why was that car going up the track? It made me question. It just made me question things, okay? So let's just unpack it just for a second here. I am no race car driver. I'm the president of a media company, right? I've never driven a race car. I've ridden in one twice with Dale Jr. So I don't think that even qualifies me to be able to talk about what a driver should or shouldn't do. And so, by the way, if you're in these comments and you're talking about, Mike, what do you know about it? I agree with you. What would I know about it? But here is one answer I would give you. I have not driven a race car, but I have been around a lot of race car drivers. A lot of them. And some of the best. And my worldview when it comes to these races is largely informed by being around race car drivers. And I say that because I would ask any of those race car drivers to tell me and you what Natalie Decker could have done to prevent that situation. If they say she did absolutely nothing wrong, she couldn't have done anything else, then hey, I stand corrected, and I'd like to be corrected. I don't mind being wrong. I'm wrong plenty of times. So, but I bet that race car drivers would have said, there was something she could have done to prevent that situation. She didn't have to be in that wreck. And you know what else? They did already say that. You know who it was? Jamie McMurray and Parker Kligerman in the booth said it when they were watching that replay. You'll recall it. They're like, yeah, she was going too fast. She had a chance. And by the way, I think it was even confirmed by her when she was doing her post-race interview, saying that her spotter was saying, get on the brakes, get on the brakes. I'm not saying she didn't get on the brakes. It's possible she didn't get on them hard enough. So listen, a lot of these wrecks, it just sometimes seems like super speedway racing, right? Like, you know that these things are going to happen. You're going to have the big one. You're going to have these multi-car wrecks. And you know that in those multi-car wrecks, there are cars that are out of control and they are sliding up the wreck, or they're sliding up the track. They're sliding up and down the track. And a lot of it's luck, which is why I was surprised to hear a professional race car driver in that moment, even in on the radio chatter, and even being completely in the heat of the moment and emotional and also hurting, to go, why would that car be going up the track? Because that's racing. That's the big time auto racing that we're in. It wasn't like Sam Mayer. She said, I'm so mad. Or she said, I'm so pissed off. I get it. You're mad, you're hurting, but so was Sam Mayer probably. And if that car wasn't already finished off, it certainly was after she hit it. So that's my question. That was why I tweeted what I tweeted. I was just like, oh, wait, are you talking about the car? The one that you're like, why was it going up the track? Are you talking about the one that basically had a windshield covering, or a hood covering its windshield, had no front end? Bunch of flat tires, no brakes, completely out of control. Yeah, you know what? Call it a hunch. Sam Mayer didn't do it on purpose. I don't know. Those were my thoughts. And I wanted to expand on. By the way, can I also say something else? When I tweet something like that, I sometimes just brace myself for some of the idiotic comments that come back in it. And I absolutely saw some. So let me just clarify one thing. I am in no way questioning Natalie Decker's competency as a race car driver. I'm just talking about that moment. That moment alone is all I was questioning, okay? I hope Natalie Decker has a long and prosperous career in the sport of auto racing, okay? What else? I'm not questioning females' ability to drive. Some of you went there. That's not what no, I'm not going there. That's not what I was doing, okay? And I thought some of those comments were despicable. And I hated, I felt guilty that something I tweeted or something I posted led someone to suggest such a thing. Nor do I even care about the political comments. Yes, there were even people jumping in there about politics. Oh, Natalie Decker would have voted for this person. What are you talking about? How do you jump into politics on that? I'm talking about one wreck, one crash, one incident on that lap. Could not care less about anything else. So I just want to be clear about that. It's a shame I have to clarify that, but look, I'm just talking about that one wreck. And I would have wanted that to have been done differently. And I also hope that somebody tells me that I'm right or wrong. I don't honestly, if I'm wrong and she was completely in the right in that whole situation, I will own it. All right. Listen, this is Dirty Mo Overdrive. I appreciate all of you. Let's see. Where's my dog? There's my dog right there. We're getting ready to watch the Daytona 500. We're going to have a full week of podcasts. Can't wait for that. Denny is going to get off and running on Actions Detrimental. Dale Jr. will be back for the download, the door bumper clear guys. Can't wait for those things and everything else. Herman Schrader, you name it, we're going to be doing it this week. And hopefully there's a couple more of these videos on Dirty Mo Overdrive, this new channel that we've got going on just for you. All right, take it easy. Enjoy the Daytona 500. Take care.